The Saga of Crystar, Crystal Warrior is a fantasy-based Marvel comic book series released in 1983. It was associated with the toy line from Remco. The toys preceded the Marvel comic series, but since the toys were released first, many assumed the comic had been a licensed adaptation of the toy line, though in actuality, Crystar and all the characters in the toy line and comic book were created and owned by Marvel Comics, with the express intent of selling the license to a toy company. I had some of the Crystar action figures when I was a kid, and as an adult had a false memory of a Crystar cartoon. I think my confusion may have came from remembering a bit of animation featured in the Crystar toy commercial. I really liked the Crystar action figures as a kid, and during an era when toys and cartoons seemed to go hand in hand, an animated series could have been really cool. Unfortunately, I no longer have my childhood Crystar action figures, but I do, however, have my Saga of Crystar, the Crystal Warrior comic books. The Saga of Crystar, Crystal Warrior #1 was magically written by Mary Jo Duffy, who was a writer for Marvel Comics for many years. Not only did she write the entire run of Crystar, she also wrote many issues of Marvel's Star Wars comic book series. Crystar #1 was magically penciled by Breif Blevins, who illustrated a few Marvel Super Specials that were comic adaptations of 80s movies such as The Dark Crystal, Krull, and The Last Starfighter. Blevins would also go on to provide pencils on a modern run of the 90s revival of Ghost Rider. The Saga of Crystar was cancelled after only 11 issues, which is unfortunate because Crystar seemed to be tailor-made to be a hit. It's imaginative with unique designs. It's set in a sword and sorcery world on par with Conan and Masters of the Universe. Maybe a cartoon series would have helped it be more successful, but alas, it was not meant to be. Though Crystar originally seemed to be intended to be in its own continuity outside the Marvel Universe, by issue 3, Doctor Strange made a guest appearance. Then in issue number 6, the Uncanny X-Men's Nightcrawler also made a guest appearance. And by the final issue, the Canadian superstars Alpha Flight graced the pages of Crystar. The characters used all made sense story-wise. They didn't feel forced in at all. So good for the writers for not going the easy route and forcing in more mainstream popular Marvel Comics characters. Though it wasn't a runaway hit, Crystar certainly stood out on comic stands for sure. The Saga of Crystar comic covers are some of the absolute best covers of the early 80s. Hard rock singer-songwriter Glenn Danzig repurposed a striking image from the cover of Crystar #8, a graphic he used for his self-titled album in 1988.